Hi folks, and welcome back to Meaningful Money. Okay, still here up above the village of Madron with Mounts Bay behind me on the horizon. Not sure if you can see it or not. Last one from here, I think. We're going to carry on talking about how to work with a financial advisor. Okay, we dealt 2 videos ago with whether you need one or not, and then we had the hiatus for the silly little Easter thing. Hope you enjoyed that. And now I'm going to talk about what the first meeting with an advisor should hold, the things that you need to look out for and make sure you cover in that first meeting. Okay, so before I get into that, thank you once again to Seven Investment Management, my sponsors here on the show. They're a great support, so thanks very much. Now, the first meeting in an advisor. So you've decided that you need some help with your financial planning. Maybe, you've had some mail through the post from a pension company that you've forgotten you had a scheme with, or whatever. You've decided to save up for a certain thing in the future, a certain event or whatever, or you've just decided to sort your life out. Okay, so you decide you're going to find a financial advisor, and the best way obviously is personal referral. Find somebody who you know who has dealt with an advisor and it's gone well and they trust them, and then you go to that person, that advisor. That is the best way of finding somebody you can work with. So you're sat in the office or there at your kitchen table, and you've got to find out some things about this person to decide whether you or not you're going to work with them. So you need to make sure 3 things are covered, and then one final thing at the end. Okay. So the first thing will be the advisor's status. Okay, and by that I mean, are they tied, multi-tied, or independent? Those are the 3 current sort of types of advisor. So tied means that advisor can only recommend products from one company. Okay, I used to be one of them. Used to work for the Co-op Insurance many years ago and the Royal and Sun Alliance, and for both those companies I was a tied agent. I could only deal with their products. The other end of the scale is independent. Now that's what I am now. Generally seen to be the place that, the kind of advisor to be, because when I'm talking to my clients, I can choose any product, product from any provider in the country in order to help them achieve their financial planning. So independence is good, right? In the middle then, you've got something which really muddies the waters, which is called multi-tied, right? And all that means is that the advisor and his or her company have decided to limit themselves to a panel of companies whose products they can recommend, right? Now, multi-tied advice, it hazes things a little bit, but you need to watch out for one particular expression which I've heard reported to me by clients who have seen a multi-tied advisor, and it goes something like this. Well, of course, really we're independent, Mrs. Client, but what we decided to do is we searched the whole market, and then we found the very best providers, and we just deal with those. So we are independent, but actually we've chosen to just limit ourselves to these preferred providers, okay? That's garbage, right? Because the panel can move. The best, every individual client is different, and the best product for each client might be from a company off the panel, right? So multi-tied advisor messes things up in my book, but it's about the advisor, not the status primarily. So the first thing you must get out of the way is the status, okay? What kind of advisor they are. Secondly, I'd want to know what their process is, how they are going to deal with you. So what sort of meetings are you going to have, and how many? How will they deal with you? What sort of reports or written information are you going to get from them, if anything? There must be some by law, but you want to know at outset how your process is going to go, how you're going to walk through this process of financial planning with them. So the number of meetings, what you're going to get from them, and when. Do they manage money themselves? Many advisors don't. I don't. We use Seven Investment Management, as you know, as I've said before, and other companies, but primarily 7IM, because we think they're very good at handling money on a day-to-day basis, deciding what things to buy and sell, okay? That's not my strength. My best bit is dealing with people. But many advisors do their own investment management, and that's fine, but they must have a clear process for it. Under regulation they must. It's got to be repeatable and predictable, and so if that is the case, then find out how they manage money, as well as how they manage the financial planning process itself. Okay, All financial planning is roughly the same. The advisor gets to know you in what's usually called a fact-finding meeting of some kind. Then they work out what it is you want and what they can help you with. Then they will come up with recommendations. Then we'll implement those recommendations, and then you'll go on to the review process. So once everything's in place, they keep it under review. So find out what your prospective advisor's process is, how it all works. Okay, that's number 2. Number 3 is, what is it going to cost you? Okay, you've got to get this out of the way at outset, really important, so that you know what you're going to pay and when. So are they going to charge you for each discrete stage along the process? I would do that. So my first meeting with a client is to explain how we work, and if we agree that we're going to work together, then yes, the fact-finding bit and the initial brief is a one-off sort of chargeable bit. Client can decide to continue or not, but if they don't, I've been paid for the work that I've done so far. If we're going to go then to full-on recommendations, that's another chargeable bit, and then implementation of the recommendations, that's another chargeable bit, and then the review process, that is also charged for, but it's discrete and everybody knows where they are at each point in time. Okay, some advisors still do a whole load of work for free and then charge you when they arrange a product, and the problem is with that you don't want to be under any pressure to do a product, particularly if the product is not the right thing for you. Okay, it's quite often possible to execute your financial planning perfectly well without a single product being arranged. Maybe you just need to change your will or something like that, or tweak what you've already got. Okay, so be careful of advisors who only get paid when they sell you something. Okay, before long that's going to be abolished. Okay, but we'll come back to that another time. So when are you going to be charged? How much? Okay, at different stages, all in one lump. Make sure you know exactly where you are. So we've got status, we've got process, and we've got charging structure. But more important than all of that, when you're meeting an advisor for the first time, is, do you like him or her? Do you trust him or her? Okay, doesn't matter if this advisor has been recommended by your best friend in the whole world. If you don't like the advisor and you don't think you're going to get on with them, then back out of the door and say thank you very much for your time and don't continue. The financial planning relationship is intimate. Okay, if a good planner is going to help you, they're going to ask you all sorts of pretty deep questions and really ask you some quite personal questions. Okay, I know more about some of my clients than their children know about them, because I ask the questions that maybe the children are too embarrassed to ask, or maybe the parents don't want to speak to their children about their finances in detail. So you've got to get on with the person who's going to advise you. Okay, for what it's worth, I also think that's true from the advisor's point of view. Okay, I have in the past worked with clients who I've had a sort of just a nagging feeling that I'm not sure we're going to get on, and it never ends well. Okay, it's such a close relationship, you've got to get on with them from day one, really. Sometimes it takes a couple of meetings just to be sure, but make sure that you like that person, that you feel you can trust them, and that you're going to be able to work together, because it could be a relationship spanning 20 years. But if you don't like them, it's going to last about 20 minutes, and that would be not good. Okay, so make sure you know what their status is, what their process is, and what their costs are, and for goodness sake, make sure you get on with them. If you don't, then just thank them for their time and back out the door. Okay, next time I'm going to just sort of clear up the alphabet soup of advisor qualifications. There's so many of them out there. I'm just going to sort of try and sort through them for you, so that when you get an advisor's business card in your hand, you know whether they're any good or not. So thanks for watching. I'm going to move on now, I think, to a different place, but from just above Madron. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.